Hey, what's up everybody? Rob here from Ram Studio Comics. Welcome back. Today doing some fan art fun, drawing Superman here on the iPad Pro inside of Procreate. Before we get started, I will warn you that it does skip in a couple areas. So this is actually the time lapse that Procreate generates automatically. You don't have to set anything up. You just start drawing and it's in the background kind of recording for you. The only drawback to that is it is a little wonky. It does mess up here and there, so you got to be careful. It seems like if you record a longer duration, you're going to get a couple skips and jumps and things like that. So anyway, most of it's there, so hopefully you still enjoy this process. Okay, so drawing Superman, the reason why I wanted to showcase this is that I always feel like this is one of the more difficult characters for me to draw. I think that it's because he's so iconic, he's so well liked and done, very recognizable, obviously, if not the most recognizable character out there. So it's very easy to tell when he's not drawn correctly. Like even at this stage, I start getting to the point where I'm like, well, it just doesn't look like Superman's face. You know, he almost looks too bitter to be Superman. So, you know, I start struggling with the face and redrawing it a few times and trying to get it right. So proportions are a very big issue with his face structure, I think, and just he's got to look very hero-esque. Obviously, if he doesn't have an extremely hero-like look to the face, it just doesn't come out right. Now, obviously, there's lots and lots of different renditions of Superman, and you know maybe you don't need to hold yourself so you know over the fire on something like this, but I just feel like it needs to be, you know, it needs to have that presence of Superman or it just doesn't come out right. And you can be the judge of that. You can let me know what you think of this fan art. That's part of the fun of doing stuff like this. I make it, I put it out there, and then I just wait for the response. And it tells me, okay, did I nail it? Did I come close? What do I have to improve upon? So characters like this are actually great for constructive criticism. You put them out there and the fans are going to tell you, that's cool Superman, or hey man, that doesn't even look like him. And you got to listen to that. You know, you can't get offended by that. I've talked about that a lot in the past. That's where you grow. So, you know, people not doing fan art, you know, I guess the way that you approach it and the way you do it, or better yet, how you distribute it, you know. But the greatest thing I think that you can do with fan art is really gauge your work and really get the essential feedback that you need to keep making large improvements. And the other thing is, if you really want to work for the big wigs, you need to show them that you can draw their characters. So, you know, if you're like a fan and you want to one day be a DC artist, then you need to show them that you can do their characters in a way that represents their characters. So it's important that you practice this stuff. You know, I don't know that I'll ever get to work for those guys, but I like to showcase the work and at least say, hey, here's my version of it. What do you think? But yeah, so it's always fun to do. It's always an eye-opening experience. It's always very rewarding. I just love drawing superheroes. Obviously, you know, if you watch the channel here, you're very aware of that. But something about drawing characters like Superman, Batman, Spider-Man, all my favorites, you know, really lets me feel like I'm kind of making comics anyways, even if I'm not, you know, even if I'm not working for those big companies. I like to feel like I am. Like I imagine when I draw this, you know, I'm drawing a cover for the Superman comic. And maybe that's a little cheesy, I don't know, but you know, what it helps me do is try to strive a little bit more for making it that much better. Like if I put myself in the perspective that I am doing it, then I almost bring out another level of what I can accomplish. Because if I just say, oh, I'm just drawing this picture just to post on Facebook or something, then I don't really maybe take it as far as I could. But if I think of it like, you know, this is going to be the next big cover for a Superman title, which sounds ridiculous, but it allows me to think into it that much more and go, how would a professional artist handle this? How would somebody that draws that type of work and detail, almost like, you know, if they were drawing that cover, they're doing it like their job depends on it kind of thing. So I try to put myself in that perception, and I challenge you to do that as well, just because if you want to play in the big leagues, you got to think like a big league player, I guess is the way I'm saying it. And you know, it's fun anyways. You know, you want to imagine these storylines. Like I've oftentimes wanted to draw an entire book just with Superman or Spider-Man or whoever. I like both, you know, both sides. Obviously, I'm saying Marvel and DC characters, but But you know, I've oftentimes wanted to draw an entire book that way. I guess they're called fan fictions or something. And just to really feel like I completed a book with those characters that, you know, we all know and love, and really seeing how it comes out and really getting to the end of it and going, man, you know, that was a huge learning curve, and it would just be fun, you know, even if you weren't getting paid to do it, you know, and I think you have to think that way to start. Now, obviously, if you're gonna do it for free, you should probably just do your own character, your own book. I've talked about that a lot in the past as well. But there is a certain amount that you're gonna learn and ascertain by completing a book of, say, some iconic characters. And the good thing is you have lots of reference to pull from. You have lots of depictions of these characters to gain inspiration from, and that's a huge helping hand. Where when it's your own title, your own characters, you got a lot to get lost in, because you can sit there and go, you can do all these what ifs. These what ifs kind of get out of control. But at least with these types of characters, you got a lot of stuff to kind of rein you in. I mean, shoot, you can even find scripts online to pull from. And I suggest doing that. That's another thing. If you really want to hone your skills on drawing these types of characters, you might want to pull from some scripts online and try drawing 5 pages of those scripts. And then when you're done, if they're not as good as they could be and you know that, draw them again. That's the kind of conditioning you need to probably get to a level one day where those companies will take you seriously. Now, I'm not saying that from an inside perspective. I've never worked with, you know, Marvel, DC, Image, any of those guys, but I'm just telling you from a working perspective of what I would assume would work really well. And you guys are welcome to comment in the section below. Let me know your feedback, what information you can contribute. The true power in these videos is the dialogue that we get going back and forth, so I'd be interested to know what you think. So I hope you enjoyed this. More on the way real soon. Keep drawing, keep having fun, and bye for now.